second webinar series. For the discussion this afternoon, our topic will be on dignity of teaching as a profession. Before we begin, kindly take note of the following reminders. First, you have to make sure you're registered to the webinar to have your e-certificate of participation. Visit certificate.vivalgroup.com to generate your proof of attendance. Place your questions in the comment box allotted during the session and they will be addressed by a speaker later on. Share the video using hashtag LearnAsOnePH as our official hashtag to all VIBAL webinars. Experience learning, Kabibal. And now, to proceed with our webinar this afternoon, it is my pleasure to introduce to you our distinguished speaker for today. Brother Roderick M. Aguirre is a consultant and evaluator of K-12 Philippine Basic Education Curriculum and academic consultant for Sisters of Mary Philippines. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Brother Roderick M. Aguirre.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome again to a week long of learning and improving ourselves as teachers. And we're focusing more now on the last domain of the PPST, or Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers. And today we'll be talking about the second strand of Domain 7, which is on basically on us understanding that teaching is as a profession, and we need, as teachers, we need to know what are those things, the parameters, to ensure that we retain and maintain the dignity of teaching as a profession. And I'm trying a new flow of discussion this afternoon, and I hope you'll have comments whether you like the flow of discussion. These are some of the flow and parts of my discussion since July, and I put them together to make it more holistic and comprehensive as much as possible. Now, try not to talk so much and just go directly to the dish and eat all of those information and digest them so that you can go back to your own stations with a renewed hope and renewed knowledge and invigorated persona to go back teaching to your students. Okay, so let me share with you my PowerPoint presentation. May I be allowed to? Okay, there you go. I would like to thank God for really good weather for this afternoon, and I had a whole day activity for this morning since 7 o'clock in the morning. Lots of online activities. Nonetheless, we should not be daunted as to how hectic our schedule could be. Everything is a blessing. All is blessing. And the weather today here in Cavite is quite beautiful. The sun is shining and the weather is just fine for us to talk together. All right. Kahit weather, pinag-usapan po natin. So today this afternoon, we're talking about dignity of teaching as a profession. And what we want for our teachers, for us teachers like myself, to be able to meet the strand 2 of PPST 7, Domain 7, is for us to act as a role model and advocate for upholding the dignity, serve and advocate for upholding the dignity of teaching as a profession to build a positive teaching and learning culture within and beyond school. I just while I was waiting for me to go online, I went through TikTok a little and then came out there a posting from one of the, I think a parent or a brother or a parent, I suppose, posting of a module activity from Department of Education, and I think it's for grade 1, and the child should be able to give the first syllable of the word, missing syllable of the word. The picture is kalabaw, but the word is kabayo. Ang namimit nawawala ay ka. And then comments from netizens were really harsh on education, really harsh on teachers. And I was so happy that there were some comments coming from non-teachers and some teachers who said, please let us respect teachers. And if they have mistakes, could you please stop posting this because you're giving the teaching profession a bad name. I'm so happy that a lot of teachers and a lot of civilians out there are now learning to accept and learning to understand teachers and a lot of the things that they're going through. And it's a process of becoming an expert, and even experts do commit mistakes. And our role here as to maintain and improve the teaching as a profession is to protect them as well. to protect our teachers, to protect their dignity, and to, if we have some problems and concerns, we direct our concerns to the people concerned. Otherwise, we are considered, we simply put as chismis, nanlalait, naninira ka lang, diba? So what's the purpose of posting it online? Is it for you to correct the mistake, or for you to make other people see some mistakes and diminish the dignity of the teacher and the teaching profession in the Philippines? I think that will be the second, and I would go for the first. If you have problems, go directly to the teachers so that uh, the error and the mistake is taken care of. So this will be our flow. Introduction pa lang, yung dami ko nang sinabi. All right, so this will be our full flow for this afternoon. We'll have myth busting. I really missed saying this word. So later on, we would say together, it's busted! Identifying common misconceptions about teaching as a profession, okay? And then we will have a little bit of questions that we need to ask ourselves, whether we do protect the dignity of people, whether they are teachers or professions or individuals. Still, we need to protect the dignity of all, regardless of profession or no profession at all. All right. So I'll be just posting some questions, and we're going to answer, not necessarily answer the questions online. You need to answer, but it's more of just a reflection and a question, and a mental answer, whether you are guilty of this situations and guilty of these questions. All right, next, we'll go through discussions. I made my questions quite specific in a sense that we could focus more on the goods for today and not linger on other information like my experience and all. So what I want to do is to be more concise and precise in my presentation of the topic. And then after that, we'll have a little bit of open forum. So I will be entertaining questions and comments. So if you have questions and comments, do not hesitate to key in or encode your comments and questions and queries on the comments box below. All questions and comments are accepted, and they're all seen constructively by VIBAL Group Incorporated. And finally, I'll have a post-assessment. So I'll have a 5-item multiple choice test, basically coming from PRC, which are already validated. A little bit of editing I did, just to make it more specific to what we have discussed. So for you also to gauge whether you understood everything what I have discussed. Okay, post-assessment. And I would appreciate that if you are going to post your results of the quiz online. Well, if you're not really ready yet, at least take it on in your own end, and at least realize if you don't want to post it, just take the test, please. And then I'll post certain challenges for us educators and for parents as well, how we can protect the dignity of teachers and the profession of teaching. Let's begin. Oh, I missed this. Let's begin with myth busting, and let's go straight to myth busting activity. Most people believe that teaching belongs in the classroom. And they believe that, a lot of people believe that effective teaching happens when the teacher is face to face physically with the students, and they're able to process immediately with an immediate feedback of the learning of the students. Now, we could say this is busted. What happened with the pandemic is that learning also takes place not necessarily just inside the classroom, but it can also happen at home. Distance education, blended learning, virtual learning are now some of those platforms and some of those approaches and methods and modalities that we're exploring. And whether we like it or not, these are things that we are bound to make sure the learning happens with high quality standards wherever our students are. It could be at home, it could be their aunt's house and their grandparents' house. The point there is that teaching belongs in the classroom is definitely busted. So we have to realize that a lot of things happen also outside the classroom, and now we are maximizing that our students get to learn from all these things that happening outside the classroom, and they are now forced to become highly independent because the teacher is now physically divorced from them, and there's no classroom. The classroom now becomes the real environment of the immediate environment. I mean, not necessarily real. The immediate environment of the child, which I would say the home. All right. So myth number one or statement number one, teaching belongs in the classroom is busted. Yay. I think I'll have to put in some sounds here, the clapping sound, right? Next time around. Let's go to statement number two. Statement number two says that a lot of people believe that success in school is necessary for success in life. That if you get to be successful at school, there's a high percentage that you'll be successful in life. This is definitely a myth. School is one of the institutions of society, and it only the society the school as an institution of society contributes. Okay, is one of the contributors for individuals and for members of society to be successful in life. And there are all other institutions that contribute to either the success or failure of the members of the society. Of course, it starts with the family, moving to, of course, the religion or the church or institution of faith, and then the school, and then the other institutions of community. We have the market, we have the government. All of this play a great role in the total development of the child and has a say and has an influence on our students being successful or not, or being failure in life. So it's not just the school, but all other institutions of society do influence and have a say on the success of our students in life. Therefore, statement number two is busted! Okay, so mga kapatid dyan, huwag niyo pong sisisihin palagi mga teacher. At the end of the day, you need to ask yourselves, do I have a role? Do I have a role to play in the success of this children's future? Of course, everyone in society, kahit pa yan ay street sweeper, mayroon po yung contribution, examples, how they do their work. Kaya nga kasama yan sa curriculum, knowing the different members of the community. Huwag na ako mag-explain po, kasi discuss na ko man later on yan. All right? Let's go to the third and last statement. Okay? A lot of people believe that the major responsibility of the teacher is to just teach. And this statement is definitely a myth. We could now say that the teacher's responsibility is not just being a teacher, just to teach, but also to become a model of what we want our students to be able to do. So if we want our students to be good at sports, good at music, good in the use of language, good in mathematics, good in science, we teachers should not just teach those knowledge to our students, but also model to them the skills, because skills are modeled to our students, and we need to show them that what we teach them and what we want them to acquire are the things that we are expert on. We cannot be charlatans. We cannot teach from a vacuum. So this is a myth. All right, whether you like it or not, teachers out there, teachers like myself, are not just teachers. We even are also counselors to our students. We also are friends to our students, but not, we're just being friendly. And eventually we also are considered as a family that helps our students realize their full potential. And therefore, statement number three is, let me click that, busted. And all of these statements, definitely there are a lot of more statements that we need to bust, but these are the three most important, most common statements that I believe we need to bust today. Now let's proceed to let's now proceed to some of the questions that we need to ask ourselves, whether we do protect the dignity of people regardless of profession or no profession at all. And that will be self-awareness. Let's start with, I prepared about 6 questions, okay? And the first question that we need to ask would be, do I respect myself and others? So you need to ask yourselves, do I respect myself and others? Do I eat healthy foods that is only good for me? Do I have vices? If I have vices, definitely I cannot respect myself. And I do not respect myself. Do I sleep on time? When I'm tired, do I try to get some rest, or just go on and work and work and work? Yan ang sinasabi po sa dignity. Baka naman po inaabuso po natin ang sarili natin. There's a possibility that we do not respect ourselves and inaabuso po natin ang ating sarili, and there's a possibility that we're gonna do that to others too. All right? Kung kayo po ay slave driver of yourself, you become also a slave driver of other people. So we need to respect ourselves, our limitations as a human being, that there are some limitations and a lot, we cannot do everything as much as we would like to. But with those limitations, we are basically human, and we have also to treat and respect ourselves and other people for that. Okay, so that's the question you need to ask. Do I respect myself and others? Okay, next question would be, do I avoid harming other people mentally, emotionally, and physically, regardless of differences in beliefs, ideas, and opinions? I've been mentioning this for quite a few already in the past, that it's okay for us to say something about certain issues, to voice out our opinions, to voice out our concerns, but the way we deliver it is another thing. So sometimes in the process, the way we deliver our information, the way we deliver our opinion, the way we deliver our ideas hurt other people. It's a delivery that hurts other people, not necessarily the message. Sometimes our concern, our love and respect for other people is coated with sarcasm. So the people would see sarcasm instead of concern or love. So we need to refine ourselves as individuals. How do we act? Do we show our emotions to other people without necessarily harming them emotionally, mentally, and physically? Okay. Third question is, do I respect everyone and ensure that there are no foreseeable harmful secondary effects out of proportion that follows as an effect of my actions? Halimbawa po, so kunwari, hindi mo ginawa ang trabaho mo, ang deadline. Hindi mo tinapos ang trabaho mo at hindi mo nasubmit ang deadline. Would there be secondary repercussions of your action? Siyempre, kung ikaw po ay kung kunwari ikaw ay head ng school or ikaw ay SAC at hindi, ikaw teacher po tayo, classroom teacher, and then hindi natin na-submit yung grades po on time or kaya lesson plan on time, what do you think will happen to, ano po yung mga secondary effects? Malilate din po ang ating subject area coordinator sa pag-submit ng collated lesson plans to the principal or assistant principal. Sino papagalitan ng assistant principal? Hindi yung SAC po. Ano mangyayari sa SAC? Hindi papagalitan po tayo. So it's kind of like a ripple effect. So we need to think of what would this decision of mine today affect the decisions of other people in the future or in the nearest future or immediately. Another one really good example would be, pag nagtapon ba ako ng basura ngayon, wala lang makita basurahan, at itinapon ko na kung saan, would there be a secondary effect on this action? There's a possibility na kung umulan, magkukos yun ng clogging at magbabaha lalo. Diba? These are things that we need to teach ourselves to think. If I do this, what will happen? What will be the secondary action to other people and to the environment? Good question, self-awareness question. Fourth question is, do I behave at all times with honesty and authentic professional, making all my decisions ethical? Ibig sabihin po ba ang isipin pa dito na, as a teacher, do I protect the dignity of other teachers by not telling other people, not concerned about the issue, and yung telling other people about what's happening in the Department of Education and blaming the Department of Education for what's happening in the Philippines, and yet not realizing that I, being a teacher, is part of the Department of Education. Whether I come from the private school or the public school, we are under the umbrella of the Department of Education. Diba? So marami po akong narinig niyan na reklamo na yung DepEd kasi na yan, tapos meron ang uniform niya DepEd. Sabi ko, wait lang po, are we here to complain? Are we here to be part of the solution, or are we here to just add on to the problem? Are we here to destroy the dignity of teaching as a profession and dignity of our teachers, or are we voicing out our concerns to be part of the solution to the problem? Yun po sana. So we need to ask ourselves, are we being honest with our purpose in saying something or being part of an issue, or we are there just, to augment and to make things more complicated? We need to ask that question. Okay? Fifth question would be, do I treat others justly or the same way as everyone should be? Tayo ba pag nagrespeto ng tao, pinipili ba natin? Or regardless of the stature of people, Do you respect them? When you respect your school head, do you also, when you greet your school head, do you also greet the guards, the maintenance people in your school? Do you also greet teachers and co-teachers and even students the same way you would greet your officials? Ganun po dapat, hindi natin pinipili because dignity is for all people, regardless of their profession and regardless of age. It's ethereal. It's timeless. And finally, the last question will be: do I treat others well because I expect them expect other no. Do I treat others well because I expect them to treat me the same way? Walang other ko. Do I treat others well because I expect them to treat me the same way? Ito yung sinasabi na yung golden rule na do unto others what you want others to do unto you. Now, being a profession is, it's not thinking that it will return back to you. The golden rule for me does not apply here in being a profession. We do it because that's our responsibility and that's our job and that's right. And because if we don't do it, no one's gonna do it for us. Nakuha po natin. I think the golden rule is applicable to all other situations, friendships and all. But I believe that in a profession, we do things because it will not be returned. We do things because that's what our profession is all about. We teach and we assess. We go beyond our time to help our students, not because someone will have to do that for our kids too. No, because that's right. This is what we do as the best and effective teachers should do. All right. Now let's proceed to our discussion now and answer four questions that I've formulated, very specific questions that I've formulated for us to understand. And I hope that I can finish it within an hour. I'm almost done. I'm halfway through already, and it's already 3:30. Let's start with question number one. What is teaching? Ano daw ang pagtuturo? So, according to PRC and to Encyclopedia of Education, in education, teaching is the concerted sharing of knowledge. Ulitin ko po ha. Teaching is the concerted sharing of knowledge and experience, which is usually organized within a discipline, and more generally, the provision of stimulus to the psychological and intellectual growth of a person by another person or artifact. So, I love the word concerted sharing of knowledge. So, education here, or teaching, it means it's not a one-man show or a one-woman show. It is a concerted effort of experts, well-trained teachers to put their heads together to come up with a more holistic learning experience for our students. When I talk about discipline, we're talking about teachers coming from different specializations. So lahat ang mga science teachers, math teachers, language teachers, TLE teachers, and all other teachers in the discipline should come together, different disciplines should come together, think about concerted effort, have a synergy of efforts to provide our students with a more holistic experience and thereby stimulating them psychologically and intellectually. Sir, paano po naman ang behavior? Remember, we talked about that learning happens when there's a change of behavior. And definition of change of behavior is that there's a change of paradigm, or there was a shift of paradigm, or there was improvement of paradigm. That means the mindset of the students. And that's why teaching focuses more on the psychological and intellectual growth of our students. Because if we attack the psychological and intellectual domains of our students, definitely it will precipitate towards changing of their attitude towards things or issues or information or actions, thereby refining and modifying their behavior, physical behavior towards these things. Okay? So these are the things that makes these are the responsibilities of a teacher. Okay, let's just go through one by one, but I'm not going to expand on it. It's already been thoroughly discussed in the previous domains. But one of the most important responsibility and role of teachers and in teaching is to foster learning. Foster learning. We have to do our utmost to our students and to whoever's, thrown in our midst, and help them learn. And part of fostering learning is coming up with modifications of how we deliver information, of our strategies, of our approaches, so that we are able to get into the heads of our students. And when I say foster learning, British tayo. When I say foster learning, we're talking about um, attacking and appealing to the minds and hearts of our students. It cannot be just the mind, okay? It should also be the affect as well. That's why it's called psychological and intellectual domains, okay? Foster learning is very important. It's one of the core responsibilities of a teacher. Next would be attend to people's feelings, experiences, and holistic needs. Teachers need to be immersed with the reality, because our goal is when we want to foster learning, we would like to see that our students are able to see connections of what we're teaching them to their everyday life. So relevance is one of the key word that we need to think about every time we prepare something for our students. Is this relevant for my students? Have I considered the context of my students? And there's a possibility, not really a possibility, there's a really high possibility of the strategies and approaches and activities being used by one teacher in one locality in the Philippines, maybe un, which is effective, may be ineffective in other parts of the Philippines. Why? Because of the context difference. We need to consider the context of our students and the effectiveness of such approaches to learning, and what makes learning effective for some group of students may not be the same effect. May not yield the same effect in other parts of the Philippines, especially the Philippines has a lot of cultures and a lot of context to consider. Okay. Third one is go beyond what's given, like curricular standards and actual teaching time. Our responsibility as teachers in the teaching profession is also not to just teach our students what they ought to know. They also need to know more other things beyond what is listed in the curriculum. Example would be life skills, diba? Socialization skills. These are things that may not be explicitly written on the curriculum guide curriculum guide given to us by Department of Education. But these are things that we need to consider and integrate in our curricular programs, because we want our students not just to be intellectuals but can fend for themselves in the real world. So pakidagdagan po natin ng beyond the curriculum. Life skills are very important. Financial literacies and all the multi-literacies like what we have just discussed. I think that was Tuesday. When we discussed Monday. That was Monday when we talk about global awareness and multicultural literacies. These are all literacies that we need to teach our students so that they will live and be able to associate with other people with harmony and unity and without prejudice and biases. Para akong nananalo ng daldal ako ng daldal. But anyway, I think you know what I'm trying to say here. Okay, that learning, it's not enough that we teach the standards. I think you're a good teacher when you teach everything based on the curriculum, but you become the best teacher when you go beyond. We go beyond what is required of us to teach our students. At the end of the day, we need to ask ourselves if I holistically help my students become a better person. Fourth would be provide intervention in order to prevent failure. I think intervention is better than cure. Prevention, yeah. But in education, we call this intervention because intervention happens when we see that students are struggling in the lesson. We do not wait for the assessment. We do not wait for the summative assessment or for the quarter assessment or for the performance stats. We do something about that right there and then, and consider where and identify, not just consider, but also identify specifically where the barriers to learning are coming from, so that we are able to identify and we're able to address specifically the root of the problem for the struggle of our students. Sometimes a lot of teachers are focused more on teaching, as mentioned in the myth busting. That's why a lot of people would say that teachers are just for teaching, because the intervention part is going beyond our responsibilities. But nonetheless, because our first responsibility is to foster learning, and if we observe that our students are having difficulty learning certain lessons or learning this subject area, especially like say mathematics and science, we need to diagnose, go beyond what is in the curriculum, because diagnose is not necessarily in the curriculum, but it's our responsibility, our call to do something, about addressing the problems of our students. And by addressing these problems, we immediately are able to solve and help our students overcome these barriers and be able to focus more on learning. Okay. The fifth part would be approach teaching and learning as a process and not just a product. We need to be more patient. So this statement here is a responsibility of teachers, focusing on helping teachers believe that teaching is a process, more of a process than a product. So even if we see that our students uh, results of tests and results of performance tests show that they have not mastered the learning competencies, have not mastered the standards. It is also feedback for us how we can help our students in the next quarters, how we can help them regain confidence and also be able to help them continuously overcome those struggles that they are experiencing. So that's why it's not mostly about the results of learning or the product, not just the grade, but what we can do to help our students better themselves. That's why it should be a process. Kung nagkamali yung bata, siguro kailangan po natin i-guide ang bata. I would see education as a process like teaching a child to ride a bicycle. I would just have that kind of analogy, a simple analogy, that teaching as a process like teaching a child to ride a bicycle. The first thing we do is show to the child the bicycle, all right? And we tell them that the end result is that you will be able to ride a bicycle by showing and modeling to the child how to ride a bicycle, correct? But it does not end there. You have to guide the child, and the child will falter and will fall many times before he's able to get the balance of using the bicycle, or using the bicycle. And it takes time, and it's a process, right? Until such time that when the child is now can ride a bicycle, that's when we recede and say that the child can now ride the bicycle without me. So in the process, I would say that becoming a good teacher and knowing that we're a good teacher is we have become irrelevant. Ulitin ko po, a best teacher for me, that's how I define being a teacher as a profession, and teacher, being a good teacher is, well, not to be a good teacher, but to being the best teacher is that we know that we have done our best as a teacher is when we are no longer needed or we are no longer relevant to the lives of our students. Pag hindi na daw tayo kailangan ng ating mga estudyante, then we have taught well our students. Please remind that. No, please remember that. Remember that. Let's proceed to question number 2. What is a profession? Okay, let's now find what makes teaching a profession by understanding what a profession is. Now, according to the Australian Association of Professionals, they defined that a profession is a disciplined group of individuals who adhere to ethical standards and who hold themselves out as and are accepted by the public as possessing special knowledge and skills in a widely recognized body of learning derived from research, education, and training at a high level, and who are prepared to apply this knowledge and exercise these skills in the interest of others, which is true. Lahat po tayo mga teacher dumaan po sa rigorous training, 4 years of rigorous training. And after rigorous of training, we have, before we graduate, we have OJT, we have research. And I think those 4 years also qualify us to be considered as professionals. But then again, there's another one. We passed the licensure examination teachers. And once we pass that we are licensed, that means we are professionals and we are committed towards continuing education program and improving ourselves and innovating ourselves every now and then for the sake of our students. And that's what profession is all about. And I believe we embody teaching profession as a profession we embody discipline group. And I think we have to work together as teachers. Minsan kasi doon tayo nagkakaroon ng problema ang teaching as a profession. Okay? Yung hindi tayo nagtutulungan, nagkakanya-kanya po tayo. Pinipili po natin kung sino magaling, parang papataasan ng ihip. We are a profession, we are a community, we are a group, and we are supposed to be together and work together for our students. This is not talking about anong disiplina ang mas magaling. Ang math teachers ba or science teachers or math or English teachers? Wala pong ganun. Every subject, every discipline, every specialization of a teacher contributes to the total education of our learners. Kung sige, magturo ka ng math lang, wala nang ibang subject. Would that help our students become holistic individuals? No, it won't. Sir, di natin kailangan ng aral ng palipon. Kailangan ng bata matutunan ang mga pangyayari sa past. Pangyayari sa past, para so that they can analyze their actions today and be able to know what actions would have a better future. Diba? So lahat ng mga subjects na yan na iniisip po ng Department of Education, all other experts, really contribute to the holistic development of our students. And then this is all not just the holistic development of our students, but also it addresses the signs of times. That these are the subjects, additional subjects, the students should take in order to survive the new demands of society. Okay? So tayo po mga teacher po dapat magtutulungan po tayo. Kung po natin sisiraan ang bawat isa. So kung meron po tayo narinig na ibang mga magulang o ibang mga estudyante na sinisiraan ng kanilang ibang teacher, we could say, hindi yan maganda. So tayo po ang mag-stop sa mga ganon. Let us stop, help, and advocate in protecting the dignity of all teachers, regardless of who these teachers are, whether they deserve it or not. But because it's the profession, it's our profession, we need to protect each other. We need to help each other grow and become better in the profession. Ginagawa po natin yan. I think VIBAL VIBAL has been doing its best to help propagate, advocate the dignity of the profession of teachers, providing you all with this trainings for free. All you have to do is take it, accept it. Huwag naman po natin sirain na nag-ano na kayo ng certificate just to have certificates. So is that what we define teaching as? Collection of certificates, but not gaining knowledge out of the webinars? I'm just saying. So, being a member of a profession is also being professional. So if you're part of a group of a profession, like being a teacher, then we are called professionals. And when we say professional, the community sees us that we are with integrity, we act ethically, we are trustworthy, and we are experts. So tayo mga teachers, we have to own that we are experts. By claiming that we are experts, we act like experts, we behave like experts, and we do everything to become even more experts in our field. Kasi bakit pa tayo magtuturo kung hindi pala tayo eksperto sa ating disiplina? Kung mas magaling pa pala mga magulang, hindi magulang na lang dapat ang professional teacher at hindi na bumuo ng mga teacher. We have been trained to be experts. Kaya yung mga teachers out there, sir, ang heavy po ng word na experts, but I hindi ko pong tanggap. Then you have not accepted that you're in the profession of being a teacher or teaching profession. By being introduced and being part of the teaching profession, we are bound duty to become experts. And we have to do everything to ensure that we become experts, because we become the models and we help our students become as such as well. How can we require our students to learn with expertise, the skills we teach them, if we don't have those level of expertise as well? Diba? Sabi nga ng cliche, we cannot teach what we do not have. Over and above expertise, we should maintain our integrity. Ito yung sinasabi nga natin, we should maintain our personality as teachers, dignified, inside the classroom and outside the classroom. It's not just inside the school. We have to be leaders as well of the community and be advocates of what's right and what's moral. Ethics, we act on what's right. Okay? May code of ethics po tayo. And then we should be trustworthy because the parents and the community is entrusting the education of their children, that we are bound duty to uphold our major responsibility to foster learning. Let's now proceed to question number 3. So what is dignity then? Okay, I, I love the definition of dignity, the one that I'm going to present to you. Right? So dignity, okay, dignity is our inherent value and worth as human beings. See? Dignity is our inherent value and worth as human beings. Everyone is born with it. Pag pinanganak ang isang bata, ang isang tao, may dignidad na yan at meron na siyang mga rights. Okay? At kailangan po natin siyang alagaan at protektahan na makuha niya at makamtan at makamkam ma-experience. How do you say that in Filipino? Ma-experience. So yun na lang. Ma-experience po ang pagmamahal, ang seguridad, security, love is security from the institutions that he will be growing up with. Starting with the family, of course, as a unit, the unit of the smallest unit of society. Ulitin ko po ha, dignity is inherent. So whether you are a teacher or not, you must be treated with dignity. Kung mayroong nagawang mali sa iyo ibang tao, dapat magsorry sila. Bakit? Nasaktan ang dignidad mo. Hindi pwedeng daldal lang tayo ng daldal, salita tayo ng salita ng opinion, pero nakita mong nasaktan na yung tao, sabi mo, hindi ko naman intention na masaktan siya eh. Sinasabi ko lang, wait. Sabi ka po natin, even if it's not your intention, nakasakit ka na. Then you have, whether you like it or not, hindi ka kasi sensitive sa dignity at dignidad ng ibang tao. Diba? I was once like that. Ang akin kasi noon, basta masabi ko lang at dapat mas malaman mo kung ano dapat mong improve sa sarili mo. Then I realized that sometimes we need to be more kind than be honest. Instead of telling the person directly, we could, model to the person how things should be done. And I think it's easier to model, to lead by modeling, to lead by practice, to lead by servitude. Mas nakikita nila kasi, wala kang rason ngayon na hindi mo gawin dahil ginagawa ko. Lahat ng inuutos ko sa iyo, nagagawa ko. Lahat ng sinasabi ko, ikaw na teacher, na dapat ganito, dapat yung body mo, dapat ganyan ka dahil ginagawa ko yun. Ganon din ang aking ginagawa sa buhay ko. Alright? Now, dignity is the glue that holds all of our relationships together, is the mutual recognition of the desire to be seen, heard, listened to, and treated fairly, to be recognized, understood, and to feel safe in the world. We all have that. That's why, for me, the definition of right is simply put as everyone has rights. Everyone has rights based on our inherent dignity. But our rights and our practice of our dignity ends when someone else's dignity begins. Halimbawa, it's my right to be happy. Nag-ingay ka. Pero yung kapitbahay mo, may right din siyang maging tahimik. Hinayaan ka niya hanggang alas 10 ng umaga, maglaro, mag-ingay. Ano man lang isipin natin, okay, hanggang dito na lang kasi respeto na lang sa ating kapitbahay. Sometimes we go beyond that. Sometimes people forget dignity of others. Sometimes we focus more on our practice of our dignity, taking care of our dignity without thinking that we are now trampling on other people's dignity. Finally, we have respect. If dignity is innate and inborn, respect, on the other hand, is earned through one's actions. Yes, we may have those dignity, but it doesn't mean that you have the right to be respected automatically. No, it is action related, action to action. Consistency of action, consistency of good actions would result to other people respecting us. It's not a one-bill shot. So do not demand respect. Yes, you can demand practice and dignity. Practice your dignity. But then again, respect should go with dignity. So, ang kailangan po natin gawin mga teachers is that for us to be able to protect and maintain teaching as a profession is to look at dignity and respect as two facets of the same coin. Dignity without respect is not practicing and protecting dignity at all. Respect without dignity is nothing at all. So they must go together. And now we proceed to the last question. We have, what is teaching as a profession? So teaching as a profession is a group of well-trained, knowledgeable, skilled, expert, and ethical individuals who are the guiding light of students to realize their full potentials. May mga teacher sabi, grabe naman yung definition na yan. Ayoko niyan, ang bigat-bigat naman yan. It's not easy to be a teacher. Isa tayo sa mga tao na mayroong impluwensya sa success ng ating mga estudyante sa buhay. Isa sa mga. Pero kung pwede po tayo maging major influence of our students if we are, well-trained, knowledgeable, skilled, expert. Kaya ang mga successful professions in the world, if you listen to their anecdotes, to their explanations, they always have, I would like to thank my teachers in the elementary for showing the care that they had, and I was inspired. Most of the best and the successful professions in the world would always have a story about how they were inspired by a teacher. Okay? And that being an inspiration for our students is that we should be well-trained, knowledgeable, skilled, expert, and at the same time, ethical individuals. I like the words guiding light. Mm-hmm. To move further to the definition of teaching as a profession, teachers are the beacon of hope. Hindi lang po tayo pag-asa ng mga estudyante. Tayo din po ay beacon of hope for society to continue progress and innovate towards the future by considering mistakes in the past and successes in the past, and analyze the current actions of people in order to pave the path a better future or a better tomorrow. So trabaho ng teacher, ang dapat alam po natin yung mga past knowledge. Kaya nga tawag sa atin po ay custodians of information. So dapat alam po natin ano mga nangyari sa past, sa disiplina natin, ano mga mali nangyari, ano mga successes, tapos uturan ng mga bata not to continue with the mistakes, and then learn from the mistakes in the past so that it will serve as a guide for our actions today so that we can build a better future. Yun po dapat, para sa akin, yun po dapat tayo po ang nagmi-mitigate. Okay, tayo mga teachers, tayo po nasa atin ang susi. Okay, nasa atin ang susi para buksan ang mga pintuan ng mga kabanata sa past. Ano bang past Tagalog o sa Filipino? Sa kasaysayan, okay? Sa kasaysayan para maintindihan kung ano mga nangyayari sa kasalukuyan at para mga bata makagawa ng tamang aksyon, tamang gawi o gawain ngayon para magkaroon ng mas maganda at kapakipakinabang na kinabukasan. Right. Okay? So these are the things that we need to be reminded of as teachers, being part of the profession. Teachers should always be aware of existing laws and regulations that apply to the teaching profession and be familiar with the responsibilities specified in the Code of Ethics for professional teachers. Not to mention Anti-Bullying Act, Data Privacy Law, Child Protection Laws. So all of these laws, these pertinent laws should be disseminated to all teachers. And if it's not disseminated, I think we need to Google it so that we would know how to protect the rights and dignity of our teachers. If our profession education or teaching as a profession should be protected and its dignity highly protected, other people also need to be protected of their dignity as well. Teachers should regularly review personal teaching practices using existing laws and regulations that apply to teaching profession and responsibilities specified in the Code of Ethics for Professionals, especially the PPST, the Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers. So susundin po natin yun kasi hindi yung gawa-gawa lang po ng DepEd o gawa-gawa lang po ng CHED o gawa-gawa ng PRC. Ito po ay dumaan sa matagalang research. Ano bang research sa Tagalog? Yun, pagre-research. So bad with Filipino. Alright? So, inilalabas ito dahil ito dumaan sa talaga sa matinding pagsusuri at matinding research na pag nilabas po, ito po ay based on data and these are the things that teachers should develop among ourselves. Teachers like us develop among ourselves. Teachers should demonstrate behaviors that uphold the dignity of teaching as a profession by exhibiting qualities such as caring attitude, respect, and integrity. Minsan po kasi tayo din ang sumisira sa ating profession bilang guro. Hindi natin iniisip. Pag ginawa ko to at pag hindi ako naging if I become unprofessional, what will happen to the dignity of other teachers? So being part of the teaching profession is to also maintain the dignity of other people by being respectful and maintaining integrity. Magkamali tayo, ilalahat yan. Lahat ng teacher yan. Isang teacher lang kamali, ilalahat yan. Promise. Teachers should interact positively with parents, community members, and other stakeholders of the school. I think it's quite clear. We know that. But it's one of our responsibilities. Teacher po, huwag po kayo magreklamo kung sinabi po ng DepEd na or ng ating school heads na we need to do some school visits or have teacher parent conferences, online conferences for our parents, because we see the importance of enlisting the active involvement of our parents to the holistic development of our children. It cannot be just the success of our students in life does not rely on the hands of the teachers, the education institution, but also the parents and all other people in society. Kaya dapat magipag-ano po tayo, magipag-connect po sa kanila. Next po, we have teachers should always collaborate with school administrators, co-teachers, and other person in order to provide a safe and friendly environment. Again, it's a collaborative effort. Hindi trabaho lang ng teacher. So, yung guard po natin, nakatulong po yan para safe po. Ang ating registrar, ang library, they are support system to us. So, we have to collaborate with them. And at that point, with that point taken, we need to respect them. Because even if they are not professional teachers, they are within the teaching profession. And therefore, they have dignity. If not, they are not part of the teaching profession. They are still human beings that they should be respected because they have dignity as a human person. Teachers should follow the directions and instructions of school administrators and higher DepEd officials in achieving the goals of education. My goals pong education. Tayo mga teachers po nag-roll out na mga dapat matutunan at mga guidelines and standards na dapat matutunan ng mga bata. Okay? But then again, the problem there is that if we do not support, okay, the goals of the education, then parang katawan lang po yan. Ano sa tingin nyo mangyayari pag kunwari yung isang teacher ko, kunwari isang mata, o kaya bibig na lang si teacher natin sa parte ng katawan ng tao. Hindi na siya gumana. What will happen to the rest of the body? That's how I see teaching profession. Every member of the teaching profession has its own responsibility and tasks to do. And if we do not do our tasks, no one's going to do that for us. And therefore, the fluidity of functions, the synergy of efforts will definitely break down. Finally, teachers should treat co-teachers and other school personnel with courtesy, consideration, and mutual respect. I think that is one of the most important things that we should do and maintain the teaching profession, the dignity of the profession, is to treat each other with utmost respect, with utmost courtesy, no matter how dissenting our ideas are, no matter how different our professional, our expertise are, no matter how different our cultures, our colors, our backgrounds are, since we are part of the teaching profession, then we need to respect each other. And beyond that, even if it's more beyond profession, we are all human beings that we deserve to be respected, and we need to work and act on to cultivate the respect of others. This is about it. And at this point, I'm not ready to accept questions from you guys out there.
Thank you, Brother Ricky. Now we'll proceed with our question and answer po.
Okay.
The first one po is from Miss Joanna Lissing. How can teachers regain their dignity after the challenges and disappointments in their profession?
Okay. There's no such thing as regaining by people helping you with this. It is accepting. Okay? Ako po kasi dumaan din po ako sa ganyan. Remember, I was part of the Department of Education, part of the tertiary level. Marami po akong pinagdaanan na ang tawag ko po doon ay taliwas po kung paano ko tinuruan ng maging teacher. Marami akong nakitang corruption, marami akong nakitang mga teacher sinasaraan ng kapwa teacher. But that doesn't mean I have to be unprofessional too. If other teachers are becoming unprofessional, if our education is crumbling down, it doesn't mean that we will crumble down as a teacher. We have to stand firm and show them that there are other teachers. Okay, there are teachers like us who are still holding the torch of education and upholding its dignity as a profession. Kasi kung tayo po ay sasama po sa kagaya ng ibang mga teacher po, edi kawawa na po ang teaching profession. We have to realize that and accept ourselves that these teachers are also human beings. The people in Department of Education are also human beings. They are corruptible. Humans are corruptible. We falter, we make mistakes. But it doesn't by making mistakes, we remain in that area or that type of life that we continue on living. I believe that as we go on with life, being a teacher, it's a journey, I suppose. Being a teacher is a journey, and then we realize and become a better teacher as we become, more mature with our profession. Yan po nangyari sa akin. Marami akong mistakes along the way. Marami po akong mga nasaktan ng mga damdamin ng mga guro. Marami nga ako halos ni-recommend na matanggal sa trabaho. Those are mistakes because I was new to the profession. I had limited experience. I could say mistakes of teachers, errors of teachers is rooted on limited experience and exposure to the best teachers. Para po tayo makabangon sa mga mali na nangyari natin, tayo po ay maghanap ng kapwa nating teacher, hang on to our teachers, because at the end of the day, ang makakaintindi ng ating pinagdadaanan ay kapwa teacher. Hindi tayo maintindihan ng mga doktor. Hindi tayo maintindihan ng mga fire officers. Hindi maintindihan lang kung bakit kailangan natin mag-extend ng time. Only teachers can understand teachers. So we have to work together so that we can stand firm on what we want to happen in the education system, in the teaching as a profession. So have the courage to stand up, but accept that we made a mistake. And from then on, and from that point on, let's realize that these mistakes makes up who we are as a teacher. We become better teachers because of those mistakes anyway. We are not born perfect teachers. We're not born the best teachers. It's a journey to becoming perfect and knowing what we can do better. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brother Ricky. I think Sir Jayo's question is related to your answer po. From Mr. Jayo Mariano, if we fail to live by practice po ba, does it equate to being a non-effective teacher?
Was that again?
If we fail to live by practice po, does it equate to being a non-effective teacher?
Yes, it does. If we are not able to live what we teach to our students, it's just hollow preaching. Kasi minsan po, mas malaki po ang epekto sa bata pag nakikita sa ating mga guro, nakikita sa atin po kung ano mga tinuturo natin sa mga bata. Halimbawa po, tinuturuan natin ang bata sa English. I'm more comfortable with English. Tinuturuan natin ang mga bata na gumawa ng project proposals and so on and so forth. And yet, they would see that the programs in the school are not well planned. The activities in the school are not well planned. So ano ibig sabihin nun? Hindi kayo nagkaroon ng project proposal to produce over and to plan out. Because when we plan out activities, it should be based on project proposals and how it's approved and the process that goes through. So we live by practice. Ako din po, bakit ako naging guro? Because I was inspired by a teacher. Lahat ng tinuturo ng teacher ko, ang nakikita ko sa kanyang buhay. Yung pagiging guro niya sa loob ng classroom, ay ganun siya sa labas ng classroom din. So, sir, if we do not live by practice, teach by practice, teach by the way we live, then I would say we have failed halfway through. Ganun po talaga. Teaching is not enough. Modeling is. Living what we teach is more effective than just talking about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Brother Ricky. That's all the questions.
Pinapalungkot kasi ako ng mga tanong na yan kasi dami mga ganyan po. Ang dami kasing teacher na ganyan.
Ayan po. That's all the question that we have for now. We'll proceed po to your last reminders for our viewers.
Okay, before I proceed with my last reminders, let's now have a post-assessment. Let's check if you understood everything that I have in part 2. This is my way of checking whether the information that you got are good takeaways from our session this afternoon. Don't worry, this is just a 5 multiple choice test. All you have to do is key in your answer, the letter, choose the letter of your answer, and then we will find out afterwards, right, immediately, the answers to these questions. And you don't have to tell us your score, but for the meantime, you don't have to tell us your score, but at least you would know which areas you need to review on or think about, okay? Just a 5-item test. So all you have to do is choose the letter of the correct answer. Choose the letter of your choice, not correct answer. How would you know it's correct? You would. Okay. Number 1, toward the end of the school year, the mother of one of the candidates for Academic Excellence Award visits you to ask about her child's chances of graduating with honors. She brings a box of cake for you. I'm sorry, gusto ko maglagay dyan na box of may brand po kasi bawal po naman sa education po ang mag-promote. Okay? So she brings a box of cake for you. What should you do? A, reject the box of cake and tell her that you have enough at home. Social. Sabi mo, ma'am, salamat na lang po sa cake niyo. Marami kami niyan. Hindi kami patay gutom. That's letter A. B, explain the chances of her daughter objectively and graciously accept the offer. Diba? Sayang. May pang-dessert na po. Or C, accept the box of cake and assure her that her daughter will be included in list of students with Academic Excellence Award. Okay? Accept the box of cake and ensure that her daughter will be included in the list of students with Academic Excellence Award. Or are you D, respectfully reject the offer and explain that you are doing your responsibility as a teacher, and by accepting it, you might be accused of accepting bribery. Choose your letter for item number 1. Let's proceed to item number 2. Which of the following is not correct under the Code of Ethics for Teachers regarding teacher and business? Again, which of the following is not correct under the Code of Ethics for Teachers regarding teacher and business? A, a teacher has no right to engage directly or indirectly in legitimate income generation. No teacher shall engage in unlawful acts as bribery, sexual harassment, abuse of power and authority, and other criminal acts. No teacher shall act directly or indirectly. No teacher shall act directly or indirectly as agent of or be financially interested in any commercial venture which furnishes textbooks and other school commodities. A teacher shall maintain a good reputation with respect to the financial matters such as in the settlement of his debts and loans in arranging satisfactorily his private financial affairs. Okay? Which is not correct po under the Code of Ethics for teachers regarding teacher and business. Let's now have statement number 3 or item number 3. Every teacher shall participate in the program of the PRC and blank program of the PRC and shall pursue other studies as will improve his efficiency, prestige, and strengthen his competence. A, professional enhancement. B, continuing professional education. C, maximizing learning competence. Or D, continuing educational enhancement. Statement number 4. During the distribution of the report card, which of the following must be the foremost concern of a teacher? During the distribution of the report card, which of the following must be the foremost concern of a teacher? A, discuss the projects of the school. Discuss the unsettled bill of the students. Discuss the progress as well as the deficiencies of the students. D, discuss the complaints of other teachers and classmates of the students. Okay, last item. You are a newly hired teacher. During your first few weeks in school, you feel like quitting because you are totally burnt out every day. From whom will you ask assistance? Ulitin po natin. You are a newly hired teacher. During your first few weeks in school, you feel like quitting because you are totally burnt out every day. From whom will you ask assistance? A, from pupils. B, from parents. C, from co-teachers. D, from the principal. All right, let's go back and answer. Number 1, toward the end of the school year, the mother of one child, ang tamang sagot po ay D. Respectfully reject the offer and explain that you are doing your responsibility as teacher, and by accepting it, you might be accused of accepting by bribery. Hindi po tayo dapat tumatanggap kahit ano sa ating mga teacher kasi nga, kagaya ng explain natin kanina, as a profession, hindi po dapat natin hintayin na mayroong magsasabi sa atin o bibigyan tayo ng regalo to confirm that what we're doing is right. No, as teachers and as professional teachers, we do things because that's what we do as professional teachers. And we don't need anything, any gift to confirm that what we're doing is right. Because we as teachers know that what we do are things that are right for our profession. It says here, which of the following is not correct under the Code of Ethics for teachers regarding teacher and business? A teacher has no right to engage directly. Ayun na po lahat. Ang sagot po ay letter A. Bakit po? A teacher has no right to engage directly or indirectly in legitimate income generation. Pwede po siya pumasok for as long as not within education. Okay? Or against education. Pwede po siya magkaroon ng negosyo. Basta hindi po siya done within the time of the hours of the teacher. So, hindi po ibig sabihin ng teacher po natin, I will owe forever. Pwede po si teacher kasi maging negosyante and teacher at the same time. And I've known a lot of teachers to have businesses. Pero wag po dapat on textbook. Kasi bawal po sa atin ang education-related businesses. Kagaya po ng tayo po ay nagtitinda sa loob ng school, meron po tayong tindahan sa loob ng school, o tayo po ay may computer shop within the 50-meter radius of the school. Those are against the Code of Ethics. Number 3 po, every teacher shall participate in the, yes, the answer is letter B, continuing professional education. Ang tawag na po natin ngayon yan ay CPD, continuing professional CPD. Dapat D yun eh. Continuing professional education, CPD, continuing professional development, okay, program. For number 4, during the distribution of the report card, the answer is letter C. Discuss the progress as well as the deficiencies of the students. All others po dapat ini-discuss. Otherwise, nagipag-chismisan ka lang sa mga magulang. And then 5, we have you are a newly hired teacher. Sino po dapat ang kausapin natin? Si principal. Si principal ang nakakaalam ng ating load at siya nakakaalam kung paano solusyonan ang ating problema. Yung problema po ng mga teachers na kinakausap po ay mga magulang nagrereklamo nagsasabi sa mga bata, ang tingin ikwento ng mga bata sa mga magulang, ang tingin ng mga magulang nagrereklamo si teacher. We cannot control how people perceive, people outside our profession will perceive our comments. Pero mas maganda po kasi ang makakapagbigay ng solusyon po sa atin. Okay lang sa co-teacher, pero ang co-teacher po natin do not have the authority, do not have the position to provide us with solution. So, si principal po dapat talaga. Kaya lang nga, lalakasan nyo ng loob. Kasi dapat ang tingin natin sa principal po natin are in partners in fulfilling the ultimate goals of education. Now, I would like us to, ano pala yung choices? Okay, I would like to leave you with this challenge. This is a very good statement from Dr. Hannah Hicks in 2013. I love reading her articles. She said that dignity has the potential to change the world, but only if people like you help spread its profound message. Take time every day to remind yourself and those around you the truth about how valuable we all are. We are born invaluable, priceless, and irreplaceable. Simultaneously, never lose sight of your inherent vulnerability. We all know the gut feeling that results from being mistreated or neglected. It's up to you or to us to honor other people's dignity, teachers' dignity. In the process, you'll strengthen your own. And I'll leave you with this statement from 1 John chapter 3, verse 13. But if anyone has the world, but if anyone has the world's goods and sees his brother in need, yet closes his heart against him, how does God's love abide in him? What if we see other teachers need guidance and becoming professional and respect? What do? We help them. And sometimes listening to them is a great help. Being a model to them is a great help than telling them what to do. Thank you very much and hope to see you. No, sorry, this is my last for the YT. Tomorrow it's a different session. Thank you very much for this session with you guys, and I hope to see you next week with more topics on how we can improve ourselves as educators, still on the CPD, continuing professional development for us teachers. Thank you very much and have a good afternoon to all of you.
There we have it. On behalf of VIBAL Group Incorporated, I would like to thank our speaker for today for this inspiring learning session. It is truly an honor to have you with us, brother, and to all our Kabibal viewers. All thanks to you for your continuous patronage to our daily learning session. We encourage you to subscribe and watch on our official VIBAL Facebook page and YouTube channel. Muli maraming salamat at magandang araw.